Hello, I'm Claire, and today we will be showcasing this limited edition 1988 medallion commemorating two-time Control Line FAI Team Race World Champions, Herb Stockton and Don Jellick, and their lasting modeling accomplishments. Don Jellick's inspiring design features the FAI logo and the names of team members Herb Stockton and Don Jellick on one side, with a raised profile of an eagle in flight and the proclamation F2C World Champions on the other. The events the medallion commemorates are showcased in the years listed: 1962, 1966, 1968, and 1988. In 1962, Herb Stockton and Don Jellick won the FAI team race event at the Nats and then placed first in the team trials ahead of the 1962 Control Line World Championships in Kiev, Ukraine. Their showing at the World Champs was not as high as they would have liked, but in 1965, they took second place at the International Criterium of Aces in Belgium. After winning the 1965 and 1966 Nats, Stockton and Jellick again traveled to compete in the 1966 World Championships. This time, their years of experience, remarkable concentration, and polished pit stops earned them first place. Control Line FAI Team Race, referred to by its international designation F2C, pits a pilot and mechanic team against two other teams as all three model airplanes race at the same control line circle at the same time. Speed is of the essence, not only in how fast the model can fly, but how quickly the mechanic can refuel during the required pit stops and then get the model back into the air. Every second counts. The final 200-lap race of the 1966 Team Race World Championships illustrates just how important seconds are, as Stockton and Jellick beat their competition with a 1-second lead. The January 1967 issue of American Modeler gives us a glimpse at the tense race. The Austrians came in first at 107 laps, whereas Stockton brought his model to a safe landing right into Jellick's waiting hands at 108. Both pit stops were excellent, and they came out more or less neck and neck, with the American model just in the lead. And this high standard of racing, piloting, and pitting went right onto the end, with the crowd literally going crazy with excitement and cheering their heads off. At the last laps, it was obvious that Jellick's model was going through without a further stop, whereas the Austrian model was likely to have to make a stop just before the 200 mark because he had not been maintaining his 34-lap average. And that's just what happened. While leading the two full laps at lap 196 with only 4 to go, the Austrian model came in for a last stop to take off 5 seconds later on the same lap as Jellick, who was leading by a nose, and the two models finished within exactly 1 second of each other, with Stockton and Jellick the winners. Stockton and Jellick repeated their world champion status in 1968 after a similarly tense final flight against the Russians. This time, they won with a 4-second lead. 1988 was the 20th anniversary of the 1968 win. As of that date, Herb and Don were the only Americans to be F2C world champions. Don Jellick designed the medallions and had them made because he felt that since Stockton was African American, the AMA did not recognize the significance of their wins. Herb's family shared that Herb faced significant discrimination in the 1960s, although they were not specific as to what that discrimination entailed. There are hints in the magazine articles covering contests to include mixing up Stockton and Jellick as pilot and mechanic, and some oblique commentary about not letting prejudice get in the way of publicity about control line events. Other African American modelers active during the 1960s reported that there were often extended delays in processing memberships and contest sanction requests. Herb rose above this and was described as a man who spent a great deal of time giving help and encouragement to team racers in his area. And that means everything from advice to free engines and airplanes, and that you don't see often from anyone, much less a world champion. As of 2017, Herb Stockton and Don Jellick are still the only Americans to win the F2C World Championships. Now, this limited edition commemorative medallion rests in the National Model Aviation Museum to tell their story. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of FlyBy. As always, please leave your questions, ideas, and suggestions in the comment section. Follow us on social media for updates on current projects, new donations, and behind-the-scenes historical air modeling information. We always appreciate your feedback. If you notice any discrepancies in the information provided or you have additional information, please email us at museum@modelaircraft.org.